Of all the characters on the Mount Olympus of British soap, perhaps the most iconic is Ian Beale. The only surviving cast member from EastEnders' 1985 debut, decades spent trapped in its thrice-weekly world has resulted in a tragedy-filled biography. 6 broken marriages, 2 dead kids, one of whom killed by her own brother. Countless near-death experiences, feuds and affairs, plus the time he disappeared only to be found looking like this. The man has crammed 1,000 lives into one, and it's no surprise he became such a meme. But more than that, he's an archetype. Any character obsessed with building an empire, smarmy wheeler-dealer apprentice types, buying up local landmarks and cutting deals. That's an Ian Beale. Eric Pollard's the Ian Beale of Emmerdale Farm. Tony of Hollyoaks, Beale. Even though he arguably preceded him, Gonch Gardner was the Beale of Grange Hill. Donald Trump's not a magnate or a politician or reality star. He's an Ian Beale. Like your mum's preferred Tinder dates, EastEnders is known for its two-handers. Episodes which sit more theatrically among the usual fare, entirely comprised of emotional dialogues between a single pair of characters. Den and Angie, Peggy and Pat, Den and Sharon, after he came back from the dead but before he sucked his finger on a webcam. Doc Cotton even had a solo episode, monologuing memories into a tape recorder, which resulted in a BAFTA nomination for Best Actress. But there's another special format, which, literal live episodes notwithstanding, to my knowledge, they only did once. Predating the show 24 by a full year, the EastEnders, which aired on November 23rd of 2000, played out in real time, with its focus on one Ian Albert Beale. To understand what's happening here, we'll need some context. In late 2000, Beale was at the top of his game, owning most of Walford's major businesses, the Caff, Corner Shop and Chippy. So flush, he was moving into the property boom, with a huge deal on the horizon set to make him a multi-millionaire. But you can't get to the top without making enemies, and in such a small square, he'd had run-ins with just about everyone. Beale's success and neighbourhood unpopularity simultaneously peaked one Thursday evening, where years of weaselly behaviour brought about a karmic comeuppance, which for viewers was like watching an epic poem play out on screen. Beale's Odyssey. A breathless half-hour begins with Beale due to attend a bankruptcy hearing. An expected cash injection for his property deal has pulled out at the 11th hour, leaving 30 minutes to raise the cash, or lose everything. The first one he turns to is Laura, who's in the process of leaving him.
Bye kids, look after yourselves, keep it nice in the boot.
Laura, wait, please listen to me.
Ian's then nanny and future wife later dies from tripping on a toy and falling down the stairs.
You're making this a lot harder than it needs to be. Get off me!
This is not some little deal that has gone down. This is it! I've got under half an hour to raise 13 grand or it is over. I am dead. I lose everything.
Half an hour, you say? That's the same length as an EastEnders.
I need your help. I'm stuffed, Laura. I'm completely stuffed.
There's a moment here which is like discovering a first draft of the Mona Lisa painted on the wall of a cave.
They won't lend me any more money. I've bled the businesses dry. I've got nothing left.
I've got nothing left. I've got nothing left.
Laura, by Christmas, I'm going to be lucky if I've got the clothes I'm standing up in. Do you understand me?
After emotionally blackmailing Laura with the threat of his kids becoming homeless, she offers up 3 grand of her own money.
I could take the cab, get the money, bring it back for you.
Laura, it's not enough. I need £13,000 exactly.
Charming. So now there's 25 minutes to raise 10 G's.
So get out there and be the Ian Beale that makes things happen. Find the rest of that money.
In this timed mission, he'll encounter many of the square's big names, and first is his cousin Mark.
What are you doing here?
You alright? You look like you're having a spot of bother out there.
No, everything's fine.
Yeah, look, excuse me,
I
Mark.
don't think so.
Salt of the Earth biker died of AIDS. They are blood, so he'll definitely help, won't he?
I want Mum's money.
What?
Prior to this, Ian borrowed $5,000 off Auntie Pauline.
You're going belly up. Well, that's tough. But you're not going to take the only little nest egg Mum ever had. That was compensation for what happened to Dad.
Mark's dad and Ian's uncle Arthur, framed in a financial scam, killed in a prison riot.
Mark, get out of my way.
I want that money!
Mark, I've got to get out of this house.
You're going nowhere!
Oh, it's all right, kids. Get back to the kitchen. Everything's fine.
But if he goes bankrupt, Pauline's never getting her money back, leaving Mark no choice but to help.
Well, I'm skin. Everything I had went on a bike.
I'll try Steve Owen first.
He was in the Vic. I saw him earlier.
Right.
What's going on?
Hold on!
Ian! Wait, Bill, I want to word with you.
Yeah, I want to work with you.
Beale's misery is intercut with that classic EastEnders comedy. Amidst the worst day of his life and having to listen to Jim going on about spunk.
Here, how'd you fancy a drop of homebrew? Put a smile on the face, bit of lead in your pencil.
Have you seen...
But every stop is another Station of the Cross, getting his face rubbed in how well even adult like Barry is doing.
If you don't mind, Ian, I'm trying to propose a toast here to our new business venture, Evans and Son Cars.
Cheers. Cheers.
Steve, got a minute? I've got a proposition for you.
Battered a woman with an ashtray and buried her in Epping Forest, now runs the Queen Vic for Phil Mitchell.
And why would I want to go into business with you? No, I don't think so.
You're missing out on a fantastic deal here, Steve.
No dice. So he tries his luck with Steve's girlfriend Mel. Ian's ex-wife left him on their wedding reception after discovering he pretended his infant daughter had terminal cancer to keep her around. Ian's so desperate, he doesn't care that she's in the bogs.
Mel, do you think those mirrors make you look fat?
Mel, I need to talk to you.
Ian? Might escape your notice, but this is the ladies' toilet.
Really? I thought it was a cash. Why don't you go back there and shut up?
You can't just barge it. What?
Where's Phil?
I don't know. He
Is
disappeared.
he at the Arches, the snooker room,
I
his house?
don't
Where?
know. Now, if you don't
Mel,
mind...
Mel, wait, please. All right, wait.
Even if this was your first time watching Easties, you wouldn't want him to succeed because of the way he's behaving.
Why on earth should I give you my money?
Because I need it. Because if I don't come up with some cash, I'm going to be declared bankrupt.
Really? Sounds like just desserts to me.
Again, he brings his children into it.
But me and the kids, we are going to have nothing. We're going to be out on the streets. Do it for the kids. Do it for Lucy.
She offers him the takings from the pub, but in further indignities, Ian has to spend 10 seconds dirtying his hands serving customers, while Mel empties the till for him. However, Steve doesn't want him to have it.
Just want to have a little dance and be honey. That's all, little dance.
Get off!
Throughout the episode, they tease the one man who could fix all this, unlikely saviour, arch-nemesis Phil Mitchell. In tracking him down, Ian has to go through Phil's girlfriend, Lisa, whom Ian has recently sacked, and stood on the very doorstep she would later shoot Phil.
What do you want?
Ian, what the hell do you think you're doing?
I need to talk to Phil.
Well, he ain't here.
Lisa, I need to talk to Phil. I'm in trouble now. What's his number?
I'll tell him you called round then, shall I?
But Mark brings hope of even more unexpected salvation in Nick Cotton.
I got it.
What?
The money. Come on.
What, you talked to him? He said yes.
Yeah. Oh, here he is.
Soap's greatest villain. Just weeks after this, Nick would give Mark Fowler's younger brother, Martin, some ecstasy pills, resulting in fisheye lens drug-o-vision as young Fowler tripped out of his box.
What's going on?
Mind you dancing to the washing machines.
In revenge, Mark spiked Nick with his own stash and Jedi mind-tricked him into jumping off a bridge, which put him in a wheelchair.
No. Please stop it. I'm a good boy.
You'd better be. Otherwise I'll tell Jesus.
No, Ma. Don't. Please.
He's coming to get you.
You want to borrow some dosh, right?
Yeah, that's right.
13 grand.
Yeah, you got it?
I'll need a whack of interest.
Yeah, anything you want.
And why is Nick the best ever baddie?
Well?
Well, what?
Where is it?
Where's what? The money. What money?
The money you're going to lend me.
Oh, right, the money. Yeah, sure don't want a bit of omelette. It's very good.
You haven't got it, have you?
What?
The money!
What money?
The money you're going to lend me!
Nah. You said you had it. What's life without a lie or two? You said you were going to lend him the money. You think I'll give a monkey like that my money? I was just winding you up. You're going to pay for this, mate.
Brilliant.
You leave the rest to me. It's got to be all right.
You reckon? The episode never shifts from Ian's point of view, and seeing it through his eyes, you really feel that growing desperation. There's a sense of chaos, perpetually running, as car alarms and sirens wail in the background. Is this EastEnders or Threads?
Get out my way,
Now! You're dead, mate!
Filled with single takes of him legging it. The longest is this exhilarating scene, following Ian as he goes from business to business, emptying the tills, shoving people,
Oi!
waking a baby, and finally getting hit by a car.
You all right, mate?
That's right. That's right.
Makes $1 million, Ian.
Careful.
There's also a subplot, which began in the opening scene.
What are you looking at?
You! Raising your hand to that nice young gal in there. Do it again, I'll be straight onto the old bill, I promise you.
Why don't you mind your own business, you nosy old cow?
Did you hear what he said to me?
Big Mo there is matriarch of the Slater family, members of whom he keeps getting into altercations with.
Hold it right there, you.
Yeah, I've just heard what you said. Nobody insults my nan and gets away with it.
We want an apology and we want it now.
Tough.
Oi! Mr. Almighty himself.
Give me the money, give me the money.
What, do you believe in banks anymore? Do you know what? You've got a filthy mouth.
You can't get away from me, eh?
Are you listening?
Don't make a scene, eh?
If you ask me, you don't like women. Is that right, Ian? You don't like women?
Left scrabbling for cash at Kat's feet. This is likely the birth of Ian's humiliation kink, which would manifest 2 years later in dominatrix sessions with Janine Butcher, who turned to sex work. By the time he leaves Nick's, Ian's antics have made him public enemy number 1, giving us a rare POV shot.
There he is. Hey, I want a word with you. I hear you've been giving my girl some lip.
No, I haven't.
Well, that's not what I've heard. In fact, you've been downright rude. You called Mo an old cow, and you barged in on Lynn in the ladies.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, and you've also pushed Zoe and Kat around.
And now, his Slater chickens have come home to roost.
Apologise to them. Right now. Sorry. Hey, properly. One by one.
Sorry. Sorry. I'm really, really sorry. Now, will you keep your interfering tarts out of my way?
In the history of television, Has anyone been more degraded than this?
To get the message? Don't do it again.
But none of that matters, as he's got just 10 minutes left, calling Lisa to see if Phil's home yet.
Well, is he back yet? Great, stick him on. Why not? But where is he then?
Right here.
These two have been perennial rivals for years, as two halves of the same coin, the Austin and Rock of Walford. Phil himself has been everything from a business tycoon to an actual crack addict, and really found himself during EastEnders' early noughties gangster phase. With 5 minutes before his accountant's due, turning to Phil is the ultimate degradation. Forced to beg a man who married his mum and literally flushed his head down the toilet, a man he's terribly afraid of.
How much do you want?
$9 grand.
You want me to give you $9 grand?
Please, you've got to help me out.
Oh, have I?
Phil's bloody loving this, taking great joy in painting a grim portrait of old Beale's future.
You're going to go bankrupt, aren't you? I've seen all that before, you know. I was doing that counselling stuff. Half the Yankees in there have been down that road. They're sad, broken, dried up little men. Most of them are signing on or living in bedsits. It's scary stuff here.
Phil, I'll give you half of the business, all right? 50-50, straight down the line. Come on, what you say?
No.
But on top of all this, it turns out Ian's been ripping Phil off with one of his other businesses.
And you owe me $4 grand here.
I'm sorry, Phil. Right, look, I was desperate. I didn't know what else to do.
There's no sweeter sound on television than when Squeal Beale starts to cry.
Phil, I'll pay you back next week.
Too late.
Look, please, Phil, look, just give me one last chance. I need that money.
You ain't getting it from me.
What are you doing?
Look, Mel, tell him. Tell him he's got to lend me the money. Just tell him!
Mel actually did convince Steve to hand over some money, but Phil's mum owns the Vic, so he's having them takings back.
I ain't going to feel bad at all. All he's ever done to me is try and shaft me. That's all he's done to anybody around here. And I'm sick of the sight of him. Bill's Market, Bill's Place, Bill's Homes. You seen what he's like?
A classic demonstration of sowing versus reaping. All those years spent
strutting round the square like some jumped-up little emperor.
Have built to this, Ian Beale's ultimate humiliation.
Phil, please. Please. Please don't do this. I need your help, Phil. I'll do anything. Anything you ask, Phil. Get it off! Lend me the money, please! Lend me the money! Phil, I'm begging you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything I've ever done. Just don't do this to me.
I told you this would happen, didn't I? I warned you that one day you'd end up grovelling around my feet, didn't I?
Phil, look, I'm doing it.
Yeah, you are.
I'm doing it.
That's right.
Oh, come on, please. Just give me one last chance. Please.
No.
And then, time's up.
Have you got it?
Oh yeah, and his accountant is the hunky vicar off Keeping Up Appearances. EastEnders' soundtrack is entirely diegetic, meaning the only music is stuff which is playing naturally in the scene, i.e. the radio in the cafe or out of a car stereo. The one exception is Julia's theme, an extended, alternate version of the regular theme, named for the show's co-creator Julia Smith, which occasionally closes an episode following particularly dramatic moments, usually sending off a big character. But here we have a moment so momentous, an entirely different piece kicks in, adding to the cinematic feel. Not Julia's theme, it's a kind of broken Ian composition. And how's this for a final shot? With ratings currently in the toilet, they should do more experimental episodes. Get some terrorists taking over the square, right as Beale returns from his well-earned sabbatical. Strap a GoPro to his head, do it in a single take, in 3D. Oh yeah, and definitely have him make this noise.